How long can a person survive without water? 3 days. According to the World Vision website, the global water crisis is affecting 1 in 10 people on the planet, depriving them of clean water. That's 785 million people not getting enough clean water. Every day, more than 800 children under 5 die from diarrhea caused by contaminated water, poor sanitation, and unsafe hygiene practices. United Nations projected that by the year 2050, there could be about 4.5 billion people affected by a water crisis. In Asia, while we have half of the world's population, it is less fresh water than any continent other than Antarctica. 2 factors contributing to the urgency of water sustainability development were the growing population and soaring urbanization rates. This led to cascading effects ranging from impaired food production, the loss of livelihood security, large-scale migration within and across borders, and increased economic and geopolitical tensions and instabilities. And that became the birth of WateRoam.
Hi everyone, my name is David. I'm the co-founder and CEO of WateRoam. WateRoam is a social enterprise that develops water filtration systems for disaster-hit and rural development areas. We have served 130,000 people across 38 countries internationally.
During the HydroPreneur Programme, the 3 young men realized that there was an urgent global need for potable water.
It was never really our intention to start a business. When we first started out, we wanted to solve a problem, which is the issue of prolonged thirst in rural areas and disaster zones. Slowly, we started assembling our tools, we started prototyping and making tools, and that's when we eventually came up with our first product, the Roam Filter. Along the way, we realized that people were really curious about what these systems can do for homes, for families, and that was when we wanted to continue doing these efforts.
I think what WateRoam has done well is in the area of maintaining the trueness to our vision, which is to build a world without prolonged thirst. We built technology for them, but along the way there were some other industries like the military and other industries that were also interested to use this technology and request for us to apply it for their application and their use. So today we have a very robust technology that is internationally recognized today, and it's reached a level that can be able to provide high quality and high assurance for our customers and the beneficiaries on the ground.
For a social entrepreneur and for a social enterprise, what we are trying to marry is people, profits, and impact. When we first started our WateRoam, we are trying to solve a very practical problem. How do we end rural thirst and prolonged thirst in these areas? And that got us thinking on what we can do. Along the way, we realized that people were really curious about what these systems can do for homes, for families, and that was when we wanted to continue doing this effort. And therefore, we believe that social entrepreneurship is the way to go because it is able to support both ends of needs: people living in urban cities and people living in rural areas. So we use a multi-pronged approach when we approach our consumers, right? We want them to be able to see the value of the product. We want them to be able to have a product that is very useful for their families, that is able to bring them convenience, that is able to bring them safe water. But yet at the same time, communicate to them the idea that, helping someone isn't that difficult. And that's through ethical consumerism, and that's through ethical purchases. So the reason why we are very focused on cost marketing and promoting sustainable purchases is because it can bring impact to people's lives. And for example, our business model is very focused on how we can get our revenue to be able to support communities in need. And that way, consumers are directly impacting people with very dire needs.
At WateRoam, we do face different challenges at different stages of our journey. At the early stage, we talk about finding the right solution to provide clean water for the communities through a numerous process of iteration. Later on, as the prototype and the iteration process have been completed, we face another problem when it comes to scaling up our solutions to the different communities. As much as the lack of clean water is a global issue that is faced by these communities, we find that these communities pose a very unique challenge when it comes to language and cultural barriers. At the same time, we talk about different level of education in some of these most rural areas and how they may not perceive clean water as important to their life. At WateRoam, we will not be able to overcome the challenges that we face if it's not without the support of the ones who believe in our cause. We talk about governmental agencies, international as well as local non-profit organizations, as well as individuals who are willing to work with us together to achieve a common goal to provide clean water to the communities. At the early stage, partnerships enables us to be able to reach out to different communities and be able to try our solutions as much as possible. And at the later stage, the same partnerships acts as a bridge between WateRoam and the communities in terms of language and cultural as well as educational barriers.
So in the next 5 years, WateRoam aims to expand our range of solutions to serve beyond also the humanitarian market and to reach out to communities in urban locations such as homes in developing countries where they turn on a tap and they still do not have access to clean drinking water. We also want to be able to provide solutions that can solve these challenges. And my advice to young entrepreneurs is, firstly, you gotta have passion and find a project that you feel is very meaningful, something that you're willing to wake up to every single day. Secondly, my advice is to have perseverance. Right? This world is getting much more uncertain and volatile, and it's important to be able to iterate, change, to learn along the way very quickly. And it's also important to remember that this is a marathon and not a sprint. So take time to have self-care, but at the same time, work hard when it's time to. And finally, have a good team. Find good people that you like to work together with and have good strengths, a different set of strengths that can complement each other. And together, you'll be able to run the race longer. All the best.